Good morning, children. Today we are having interference of light waves. In our earlier class we have studied principle of superposition. Now we are having a medium in which two light sources are there. See, this is S1 and wave is traveling in this way, and here we are having a point P. Here the displacement of electric field can be given as y1 is equal to sine omega t. This is the displacement of electric field component at point P because of this S1 source. Okay, and at the same time, if we turn on one more light source, say this is another one, it is S2, and this is also emitting the light, and this light is traveling and getting superimposed over this point, and hence the displacement of this medium party, this electric field component will be modified, and we have to find out what will be the resultant displacement at this point P. Now see, y1 a sine omega t is the displacement at this point electric field component because of this source. Now this is second source. As we are turning it on, the second light, that is y2, is equal to a 2 sine omega t minus phi. This phi is the phase difference between these two lights. Okay, now by the principle of superposition, the net displacement, that is y, will be equal to y1 plus y2. That will be equal to, we have to add them, it will be equal to a1 sine omega t plus a2 sine omega t minus phi. Now this sine omega t, as it is sine A minus sine B, so by using identity I can write it down, a1 sine omega t plus a2 sine omega t cos phi minus cos omega t sine phi. Now we need to convert with this y, we are having resultant displacement, and this resultant displacement we have to convert it in a single sine function. Okay, so let's proceed and open up this bracket. I will have a1 sine omega t plus a2 sine omega t into cos phi minus a2 cos omega t into sine phi. Now here cos phi is constant, sine phi is constant, omega t and omega t are the variable function. So what we need to do, separate constant and variables. Let me make it clear. For example, from first term and second term, I can take sine omega t out as a common function. See, this is a1 plus a2 cos phi into sine omega t. Okay, now minus a2 sine phi, that is constant, into cos omega t, and here we are having yr. Now my dear children, we have written resultant displacement, the displacement at this point P because of S1 and S2 source, but we cannot predict it until we convert it into a single sine function. Now how to convert this equation into a single sine function that you have already studied in your mathematics class. Now what we need to do, the coefficient which is there in front of sine omega t, we need to put it something, and in the same way cos omega t, this is the coefficient, it is actually constant quantity, and we need to put it in this way. Say the coefficient which is with sine, I need to write down r cos theta. The coefficient which is with sine, we should put it r cos theta is equal to is equal to a1 plus a2 cos omega t. And in the same way, the coefficient which is there in with cos, I need to put it r sin theta, that is equal to, it is a2 sin phi, sorry, it is also phi. Okay, now substitute these value r sin theta and r cos theta in our upper equations, and I will get, see, y r will be equal to, it will become r cos theta into sin omega t minus r sin theta into r sin theta into cos omega t. Now my dear children, r can be taken out as a common factor, and we are having sin omega t cos theta minus cos omega t sin theta, and you know very well that this is our common simple trigonometrical identity. R can be written as it is, and it will be equal to sin omega t minus theta. This is, my dear children, resultant displacement at point P, and we have written it in standard wave equation, but r and theta are unknown. These are intermediate variables we have taken from our side, and we have to calculate the value of r and theta now. R and theta can easily be calculated by this equation and this equation. Okay, I know you all are familiar, you know very well that how to calculate it. Let me give you some idea. Okay, now squaring and adding these two equations, I will get r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta is equal to, I will get a1 plus a2 cos phi square plus a2 sin phi square. So on squaring and adding from left hand side, you will get r square only, because r square can be taken out as a common factor, and rest cos square theta plus sin square theta you will get as 1. It will be equal to r square. Now in the right hand side, you need to open up these identity, and you will get a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi plus a2 square sin square phi. Okay, here cos square, one more cos square phi will be there. Okay, now from second term and last term, a2 square can be taken out as a common factor, and rest you will get cos square phi and sin square phi, that will become 1, and you will get a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi, and here r and this is under the root, square will become under root. Now my dear children, I think this result you have already seen somewhere else in vector addition. There two vector quantities is added up. Now the same concept we have started. This wave is traveling at this point P, and this is another wave which is traveling in this way. The displacement at this particle because of this wave may be in this direction, and because of this wave may be in this direction, and these two displacement will be added up with the help of vector addition, and this will be the resultant, the net displacement at this point because of both the wave sources. Okay, in the same way we can find out the value of theta also by dividing our equation 1 and 2, and you will get if I divide second equation by 1, I will get r sin theta upon r cos theta, and it will be tan theta na? Is equal to, here I will get a2 sin phi upon a1 plus a2 cos phi. So these two results we have seen already in vector triangular law of vector addition, and these two displacements are added up. In our next session we will discuss over these results, and we'll see.